Jumbo, the Herculean heavy lift ship, is delivering one of the largest cargoes ever moved in one piece to the port of Abu Dhabi. But not everyone is sticking to the plan.
Stop! Stop!
Abu Dhabi, the Persian Gulf. The United Arab Emirates is a tiny nation, but it's the gateway to the world's richest oil reserves, and business is booming. To meet the nation's surging energy needs, they're bringing a new petrochemical plant into operation. The final piece is a vast 1,400-ton crude oil separation tower. But this massive, crucial component was built 7,000 kilometers away in South Korea. And getting it to its destination is a massive engineering and logistical challenge. Only one ship in the world is capable of handling this incredible journey solo. The Jumbo Javelin. Weight, 15,000 tons. Length, 144 meters. Engine, 11,600 horsepower. The heavy lift ship can dock at any major port and use its two 32-meter-each inbuilt cranes to pick up its own cargoes without any need for costly harbor facilities. And her heavy lift capability means she can take her cargo anywhere and drop it off, even if the local cranes can't handle heavy loads. Jumbo is the one-stop shop for heavy lifting on the move. Crew. Lift Captain Rob Boscalion. Boscalion is the lifting guru on Jumbo. This is his cargo.
There's a danger of capsizing, yes.
Port Captain Dries Stommen. Dries will oversee shore operations, and if anything goes wrong, it's his head on the line.
Tell the guy to keep his hands off, and we operate it ourselves.
8 a.m. Jumbo is entering the final stage of her journey. She's just a few kilometers outside Abu Dhabi harbor, but getting into port and unloading safely is the hardest part of the job. The crew is running to a strict schedule. Hiring Jumbo costs thousands of dollars a day. They can't perform a monster lift in darkness, so this job has to be finished by sunset. The Jumbo enters Abu Dhabi harbor, and ship's captain Anton von Koldam takes over to bring the mighty vessel alongside the unloading dock.
We'll go outside next and do some maneuvering.
His control position at the side of the ship's bridge provides the visibility he needs for inch-perfect control of the mighty vessel.
3 meters astern, okay.
With 15,000 tons of ship at his fingertips, even the tiniest mistake could have big consequences.
Captain, still 5 meters, Captain. Still 5 meters.
I'll just twist in the stern a bit.
The ship's side thrusters nudge her gently into position, and as soon as she's near enough, the dock hands can join the effort.
5 meters only.
The last few centimeters are tense. But Anton's got it covered, and Jumbo has arrived.
Ship's in position. As soon as you have a forward spring, you can tie him up also.
The crew finishes cutting the load free of the deck, and second mate Celine starts positioning the massive steel lifting cables at either end of the oil tower. Dries is painfully aware that one mistake here could have serious consequences.
It's all real heavy equipment. There's people's fingers very close to it. It's a bit risky.
Under Dries's watchful eye, the crew hitches the first sling into position. And they're making good progress on the second until Dries spots a loose shackle on the load.
The shackle is rubbing against the wooden protection. Need to go up there and retighten the nuts of the shackle.
The loose shackle is 10 meters up in the air. The only option is for first mate Lucas to get hands-on.
Tighten this nut with my hands, and then all the rigging gear will be good to go.
But the operator of the cherry picker that's supposed to bring Lucas up to the shackle is not part of the jumbo crew.
Stop! Stop!
Something funny going on.
The operator doesn't speak English and he doesn't understand left or right.
The operator isn't following instructions, and while the shackle is still loose, the 1,400-ton weight is a potential danger to anyone underneath it. Abu Dhabi, Persian Gulf. The crew of the jumbo Javelin heavy lift ship is trying to secure a loose shackle on their 1,400-ton load, but some of the locals aren't following the game plan.
I'm trying to communicate also with this guy.
Can we switch it to local control? Control it yourself. And tell the guy to keep his hands off, and we operate it ourselves.
Yeah, I don't need a operator. He's dangerous.
There's no alternative. Lucas has to take control of the cherry picker himself.
Oh, this is something very unwanted. We're having to deal with external people. We contracted who hardly speak English, or who don't really know what it is that we want, and who don't understand what we want, even though we explain it to them.
Lucas uses the remote controls to maneuver himself to the right spot and re-bolts the 1-ton shackle. With the slings securely in position, the cranes are almost ready to lift. But if they were to lift now, a 1,400-ton load hanging 32 meters from the crane would create enough turning force to capsize any ship on the planet. To handle these forces, Jumbo has a trick up its sleeve. 2 huge stabilizing pontoons. The 10-meter by 10-meter steel boxes are fixed to the side of the ship opposite the load.
This increases the ship's width, and that has a tremendous effect on the ship's stability.
The pontoons widen the ship, lower its center of gravity, and make it more stable, allowing Jumbo to discharge some of the largest loads ever transported by sea.
This is the biggest volume of cargo that I've ever discharged. It's huge, it's massive, it's 100 meter long.
With stabilizers fitted and slings in place, the Jumbo's crew is ready to begin the mega lift.
Well, we are ready for discharging.
Okay, there we go.
The captain and the first mate take their positions on the deck. From here, they give direct orders to the crane operators.
Fore and aft, 5% up.
The crane's 1,000-kilowatt winches apply tension to the slings, and slowly the load begins to lift away from Jumbo's deck.
It's in the air, it's flying. Finally.
Each crane is built directly into Jumbo's hull. The whole ship would have to fall apart before they could be uprooted.
We need to give a lot of outreach. We are working at pretty much our operational limit.
If the load is unevenly spread, one of the cranes could be critically overloaded.
If something would fail, like a crane wire or the stabilizer, you could have a potential disaster.
The cranes barely quiver as they bear the full load of the tower. The crane arms, known as jibs, reach their vertical limit. Now comes the tricky bit, moving the load laterally to get it on shore. As the jib arms move towards the shore, the ship's center of mass moves with them, and the ship starts to list towards the shoreside. Up on the bridge, second mate Celine uses the ship's sensors to keep an eye on the potentially dangerous list.
We are limited with our list to about 4 degrees maximum. Otherwise the stabilizer will come out of the water and we will lose our stability.
Captain, list is 1 degree port side.
She constantly feeds information to the captain so that if the list becomes too dangerous, he can take an instant decision to abort.
There's a danger of capsizing, yes.
There might be a danger of capsizing, but Jumbo has a cunning trick to stack the odds in her favor. As the load shifts further to one side of the ship, Celine activates the ship's pumps to shift thousands of tons of water to the other side.
Okay, Celine, can you put 3 pumps to port?
3 pumps to port.
The redistribution of the water's weight is supposed to keep the 1,400-ton load and the ship in perfect balance.
We ballast from the port side tanks to the starboard side tanks to keep the list at around 1.5 degrees.
Still okay afloat? Still okay afloat, Captain.
But while the ballast water is pouring through the depths of the ship, a warning alarm sounds in the engine room. And there's nobody down there to see what's wrong. In the middle of Jumbo's massive lift, the engine room's alarm has gone off, but it actually indicates another ship in distress. The Jumbo crew has to ignore it. They've got problems of their own. Up on the bridge, second mate Celine has spotted a lone tugboat on the way out of the harbor. It's headed right past Jumbo. It looks harmless, but the waves from its wake could critically alter Jumbo's angle in the water.
Yeah, Captain, there's a tugboat passing.
It's coming from front or from back?
He's coming from the front. Oh, list is increasing 1.15, going to 1.5 degree port side.
If the waves push the ship's list past the 4-degree limit, Jumbo will have a serious problem.
If other ships are passing, then we also start moving because of the wake of the other vessel.
This part of the harbor is supposed to be closed while Jumbo does the big lift, and the crew can't believe what they're seeing.
Kunnen ze dan niet even stilleggen?
And just as the waves from the tugboat start to subside, a harbor pilot vessel passes even closer to Jumbo.
Ah, come on, there's another one again. Godverdomme.
The crew can do nothing but watch as the pilot vessel's wake rocks the ship.
The port should actually suspend tugboats or other ships from entering or anyway moving close to the ship.
This should never have happened. It's impossible for the crew to plan for situations like this. As the waves roll by, Jumbo goes right up to her 4-degree listing limit. But she doesn't go past it. Now the big lift is entering its most delicate stage, lowering the load onto the waiting quayside trailer. The weight distribution must be perfect or the trailers and the cargo will topple over.
They're checking now if the column, if the saddles are in the good position for the trailers.
If they say it's not okay, we have to pick it up again.
Jib down, eh? For aft. Aft, jib down.
We also like the green light. That means that people from the trailer, they say it's okay, you can put it down.
The crew waits for the all clear from the trailer operator. Only then can they start lowering the oil tower the final few feet.
If we have clearance from them, we land it on the trailer.
The yellow steel-lined saddles cradling the load must all touch down on the trailer at precisely the same moment.
We're slightly moving it, position it on the trailer. It needs to be exactly in the trailer center line.
The entire lift has been building to this moment.
Yeah, they want to last check if all the saddles are on the trailer.
With just inches to go, this 1,400-ton balancing act could still end in failure.
Just a final check.
Okay, we have green light.
Oh, good.
I'm happy.
Jumbo isn't just strong, she's got the delicate touch. The load comes down flush on the trailer. Jumbo's crew have completed one of the most challenging waterborne crane lifts ever done.
The discharging of the crude column went very smooth. The crew performed perfectly. I was very happy how everything went.
We are operating on the most sophisticated heavy lift ship in the world here. We can all rely on each other and yes, who better than us?
They're strong, they're really strong. But for the toughest jobs, you need Jumbo strong.